It was one of those mundane days that seemed to drag on infinitely, the kind of day when time felt as slow as molasses, and the afternoon sun flooded the room, filling our cozy home with a warm, inviting glow. My nephew Jasper had been living with me for a while, and he had just stepped out for groceries, leaving me to bask in the quiet solitude of the house. I treasured these tranquil moments. They provided me the perfect opportunity to gather my thoughts, dive into my hobbies, and simply breathe. However, on that particular day, an unexpected urge began to stir within me, awakening feelings that had been dormant for too long. As I wandered through the house in search of inspiration, I found myself in our bedroom, a space rich with shared memories. I settled on the edge of the bed, a wave of relaxation washing over me, and let my mind drift toward thoughts of intimacy. Sitting there, I felt a surge of excitement quicken my heartbeat. Closing my eyes, I allowed my fingers to trace over my skin, exploring the gentle curves and contours of my body. A rush of warmth enveloped me as I surrendered to the moment, letting my imagination take flight. My thoughts turned to passionate evenings spent with Jasper, recalling the way his hands felt on my skin. I remembered how he would gaze at me with such longing. In that quiet moment, I allowed myself to indulge in those fantasies, feeling my own desire blossom. So lost in my thoughts, I failed to notice the door creaking open. The sound of Jasper's footsteps in the hallway jolted me back to reality. It was too late to halt my actions. I heard him call out, and suddenly I was present again. Just as pleasure surged through me, my heart raced with the thrill of being caught. Torn between the exhilaration of discovery and the intensity of the moment, I knew I should stop, but the sensations overwhelmed me. I pressed on, eager to relish the enveloping feelings. At that moment, the door swung open to reveal Jasper, grocery bags in hand. His eyes widened in shock. Time froze as we locked gazes, and I found myself vulnerable, cheeks flushed with a mix of embarrassment and exhilaration. I opened my mouth to say something, but no words came. The silence stretched between us, filled with surprise and an electric tension. Neither of us moved, and I was unsure whether to cover myself or embrace the intimacy of this unexpected situation. Jasper's expression shifted from shock to curiosity. The vulnerability in my eyes seemed to ignite something within him. I didn't mean to interrupt, he finally spoke, his voice low and slightly breathless. I just came back to grab something before we made dinner. A wave of warmth flooded through me as I realized this moment could lead us down a path neither of us had ever expected. My embarrassment faded, replaced by a strong desire to connect. Maybe you could join me, I suggested softly, my voice a mere whisper. I was testing the waters, watching as surprise and intrigue flickered across his face. For a brief moment he hesitated, and I could see the gears turning in his mind. This was a conversation we had never had, yet the chemistry between us had always been undeniable. Jasper moved closer, placing the grocery bags on the floor, his gaze unwavering. "Are you sure?" he asked, his voice low and laced with both desire and concern. I nodded, my heart racing at the thought of sharing this intimate moment with him. I wanted to draw him into my world and explore the depths of our desires together. He approached me slowly, kneeling beside the bed. His expression softened as he took in the scene. The vulnerability that had initially made me feel exposed now transformed into a shared experience. I could see the hunger in his eyes, a reflection of the longing that had quietly simmered between us. "I've always wanted to explore this side of you," he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. The air around us crackled with electricity as he reached out to caress my arm, igniting every nerve ending in my body. I leaned into him, experiencing a comforting sense of safety, despite the initial awkwardness. He gently pulled me closer, his hands exploring the curves of my body with a tenderness that made my heart race. Together we began to rediscover one another, shedding the layers of routine that had dulled our connection over the years. I felt vibrantly alive as we kissed, the outside world fading into nothingness. Each touch and caress felt magnified, as if we were peeling back the years of familiarity to reveal the passion that had always simmered beneath the surface. Our kisses deepened, filled with longing and desire, each one reigniting the spark that had originally drawn us together. As he trailed kisses down my neck, a wave of warmth coursed through me, sending delightful shivers through my body. "You're beautiful," he whispered against my skin, his breath warm and tantalizing. With each passing moment, the room filled with an intimacy I had long craved. We explored each other slowly, savoring the connection that was both thrilling and tender. I lost myself in the sensation of his hands gliding over my body, tracing familiar contours while discovering new pleasures with each gasp. Each sigh drew us closer, a reminder of the bond we were rekindling. As time stretched on, we found ourselves lost in a world of our own creation. Our laughter blended with soft murmurs, and as each moment passed, our hearts seemed to beat in unison. It was as if we were awakening from a long slumber, shedding the layers of doubt and monotony that had kept us from truly connecting in this intimate space. I felt cherished, desired, and utterly alive. As our breaths mingled and our kisses grew more passionate, I sensed that we were both ready to embark on the next step of our journey together. "I want to explore everything with you," I breathed, searching his eyes for reassurance. He nodded, his expression a blend of eagerness and resolve, confirming that this was just the start of rediscovering each other. In that moment, we released the inhibitions that had held us back for far too long. It was as if we were two souls reunited after years apart. With eagerness to dive into the depths of our desires, Jasper's hands slipped around my waist, pulling me closer as our bodies began to sway in perfect rhythm. The heat of his skin against mine sparked a flame inside me, and I surrendered to the sensations enveloping us. Laughter and whispers danced in the air as we navigated the new terrain of our intimacy. We interwove the threads of our connection, where every kiss and touch became a sacred promise to cherish, to explore, and to keep our love's flame burning brightly. Outside, the world ceased to exist. All that mattered was the love we nurtured, blossoming in ways we had both yearned for. Together, we embraced this moment, recognizing that what had begun as an ordinary afternoon alone had transformed into a profound journey of rediscovery, one infused with passion, intimacy, and a rekindling of the love that had always lingered, waiting for its chance to be set free. As we melted into one another, the reality outside our bedroom faded completely with every tender caress and heated kiss. I felt the walls we had built around our hearts crumbling away. It was as if every brush of skin against skin awakened long-buried memories of desire and passion. Jasper's hands roamed over my body freely, igniting a fire within me that had long been dormant. The urgency between us escalated, turning soft kisses into fervent embraces, our bodies moving together as if they were destined to unite in this way. I felt the electric pulse of desire coursing through us, a rhythm that matched the quickened beating of our hearts resonating in the stillness of the room. "Tell me what you desire," he whispered, his breath warm against my ear, sending delightful shivers down my spine. The intensity in his voice sent my heart racing even faster. I looked into his eyes, which sparkled with a mix of yearning and affection. "I want to feel everything with you," I admitted, my voice thick with longing. In that moment, I was enveloped by a sense of empowerment. I had taken the brave step to invite him into this shared intimacy. Now I craved even more. It felt as if the universe had conspired to bring us to this precise moment, allowing our love to flourish free from doubt and routine. With that thought, he captured my lips once more, and as we lost ourselves in each other, we discovered a renewed sense of connection that was both thrilling and daunting. Our movements became more urgent, fueled by an instinctive need to close the gap that had grown between us over the years. The air thickened with passion, our breaths mingling as we explored the depths of each other's souls. Each kiss was a promise, each touch declared our love. With every fleeting moment, we wove a rich tapestry of intimacy that bound us closer together. We were no longer just husband and wife. We had transformed into lovers, rekindling the fire that had always smoldered within us. In that heat, we discovered a profound sense of belonging, a feeling that this was exactly where we were destined to be.